Hi everyone, and welcome to my Darkest Dungeon video. So we are playing on the Darkest mode, and the goal is to beat the Darkest Dungeon. In the 2 years that I've been playing Darkest Dungeon off and on, I have yet to beat the Darkest Dungeon. I do have all the DLC packs, so I will be playing with that, but I will not have my mods on. I do have mods for the game, but I am turning them off for our videos. And they're mostly look mods to add color to the game and stuff like that. Nothing that actually changes the way the gameplay is, but I thought it'd be nice just to go natural for the videos, or as natural as we can. The videos will be a little bit longer just because of the way the game is. The dungeon grinding takes a while, but I am going to try and highlight the areas from various parts of the runs, and I will explain what went well or what went bad during those times depending on what I'm showing you guys. I am not I'm not gonna video the whole dungeon run, or we would be here forever. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope to see you guys soon. So this first part is basically us making our way to Hamlet. It's the introduction tutorial to the game, and you start off with 2 heroes and you fight some thugs, but it's nothing really brutal. But yeah, it goes through and explains. I also, for this game, unlike some of the other games that I do videos for, I left the audio on because I absolutely love the narrator. Hopefully this will not be a problem. I hope. But I just want everybody to hear him too because he adds so much to the game.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive. Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood. Leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places. An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome. Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all. A victory. Perhaps the turning point. This expedition at least promises success. Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them. Women and men Soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear. What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield? Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
It seems like no matter how many times I see this, it always makes me laugh with the dude laughing about the graveyard. And I think it's just one of those things, like, they aren't kidding. A lot of the characters will probably end up in the graveyard. But I'm like, dude, do you gotta giggle about our death? Like, seriously. But anyways, I thought, you know, it's one of those things, I'm like, other games are all dark and serious, like, oh, graveyards are bad. And this one is like, it's, yeah, graveyards are bad, but this is where you're gonna end up. Have a nice trip.
Trinkets and charms, gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth. A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
So with this first area, we're getting ready to do our first dungeon, and here is a character screen. So basically, under quirks, there's good and bad. This game teaches you to just roll with things. You don't get to pick what quirks they have, and you don't get to pick like what they're great at. It's just random roll. Now later on, you get to get rid of some of those quirks, but for the most part, you just gotta kind of deal with what you're handed. Now you can also see in the screen too, for the characters, there's a thing called preferred position. Make sure to have your characters in a preferred position, because then they can use more of their skills. If they're not in the preferred position, they can still go on the dungeon, but they may not be able to use everything, which kind of in some ways makes them useless. And then, as always, you can see like their stats and other things like that, like what their armor is once you start upgrading their armor. And you can see what skills they have. Later on, you will be able to upgrade and or buy different skills for them depending on what you want and what you're comfortable with the character. So too, I do believe some skills are better than others, but we may get into that later on.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home. Executed with impunity. Back to the pit. trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood. Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage. As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. The slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving. If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption. A dizzying blow to body and brain. The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden. Weakened. Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive. Press this advantage. Give them no quarter. Ambushed by foul invention. Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle. Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered. Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all. Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. A handsome reward for a task well performed.
So I showed you guys the full entirety of one short dungeon, and it was pretty easy and we survived, so that's a plus. I may not show the full dungeons every single time, like I said, because there is a lot of grinding in this game if we want to level and get to like level 5 and work our way to the Darkest Dungeon. But yeah, this dungeon went super great, and I continue on to get some more loot, and then we head back to Hamlet. There we go. I don't know why I can't ever remember the town's name. And also too, I show you at the end of the runs, and I probably still will continue to do that if I remember to show you what effects each character gets, just so that you guys can see. It also gives you guys a heads up on, you know, in the game, what could possibly happen to your characters. Again, it's all random and roll, but, you know, hey, at least thing you can't say, well, I didn't know that was in the game. So, yeah. And hopefully all our dungeons will continue to go well. We'll just have to see how it goes, because this game is a little chaotic.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken. Ghoulish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.